Good afternoon, my name is Paterson, and I'm presenting some results from research I'm doing with my partner in crime, Tony Charles. So, over the last 2 decades, there have been about more than 6,000 natural disasters globally. And these kind of events are caused by floods, earthquakes, or storms. And they're becoming more frequent and they're becoming more severe. And the effects are felt most strongly at the local level, so people in local communities. So we were wondering, what can communities do in response to these threats? So we systematically reviewed a number of case studies that were published in the peer-reviewed literature from all over the world, and then extracted information from more than 300 articles into one global data set for analysis. And the good news is that there is a lot that people are doing in response to hazards. So we, for the purpose of the analysis, we grouped the actions that were described in the case studies into 5 categories due to relative to the nature of those actions. So they range from responses that are really about securing basic needs to responses that have to do with collective actions, such as utilizing kinship networks or forming community groups, or are maybe about leaving the community altogether for safety or for work. And then guidance type responses, which speak to policy development or management and planning. Then there's data collection and monitoring, and use of local and traditional knowledge, and then of course infrastructure. So there's a whole array of different actions that are being utilized. So when we look at where these things are done all over the world, then we can see that the pictures differ quite a bit from region to region. And just roughly, we can see that somewhat the distribution across the 5 types is more evenly distributed. It's more evenly distributed in the global north, and in the global south there seems to be more of an emphasis on individual and material well-being type responses. So we were wondering why that might be, and looked at various things. And one thing that comes up that's not too surprising is it has a lot to do with money. So here we're comparing the different income economies and of the places where our case studies come from. So you can see that in low and lower middle income countries, there is a much stronger emphasis on individual and material type responses, and that goes down as income goes up. And other kinds of responses kick in, such as monitoring, planning, and policy development. And infrastructure type responses really only come in high income countries. So why is this important? And why is this good news? Well, for one, this database of examples of what people are doing all over the world is really very encouraging and potentially very useful for communities as they are developing their own hazard response strategies, for example, all over Nova Scotia. So we can really learn from these international examples. But this isn't just a local issue, as we've seen. We know that as climate change advances, hazards and extreme weather events, etc., are becoming much more frequent. So there's a real need for for much better hazard management and better disaster mitigation worldwide. And we need to know what is already happening, what communities are already doing worldwide, and where, and what they're not doing. That really helps, for example, donor agencies to decide how and what kind of national and global strategies to develop to really increase resilience where it is most important, and that's at the local level. Thank you.